The Porsche 911 is 60 years old in 2023, and a big birthday deserves a big celebration, right? So how does this sound? 525 horsepower, 9,000 RPM, and a 6-speed manual gearbox. Welcome to the 911 ST. Okay, so we're here with Andreas Preuninger, head of Porsche GT cars, to talk us around the ST. Andreas, thank you for your time. What do we need to know?
Well, how long time do we have?
as long as you have.
Yeah, I mean, 60th birthday of the 911.
Yeah.
For us, absolutely a very, very important date. 1963, the 911 was born in Frankfurt Auto Show. And we're presenting this car exactly 60 years later. And this car embodies the virtues of what a 911 stands for. For us that developed it. It's lightweight, it's agile, it is classically in a positive way. Yeah? It's involving, and it's a product in this case that is derived from a motorsport product, the GT3 Touring. So it's quite an exciting car, I think.
Sure, and 525 horsepower?
It's got the RS engine, so it's we started with the GT3 Touring as a base car, as we started by the when we're talking about original ST with the 911S, and got bits of the 911T, of the contemporary 911T into the car, and racing parts. So here we take the GT3 Touring, which is already a motorsport product, and add some pieces and bits of the RS, which just came to the market a couple of months ago, and some bespoke motorsport parts to make this thing the most entertaining, the most involving 911 to date, for me it is at least.
That's a big claim. It
is, yeah.
And I guess having a 6-speed manual will contribute to that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, this car being a reminder of the old 911 that was not a 6-speed, I think it was a 4 or 5-speed back then. But a manual transmission for us was vital because the involvement, to remember the old times, the good old driving vibes, manual transmission evokes, at least in our customer group and in me personally, and the lightweight characteristics of a manual transmission. It's 20 kilos less than a PDK. And additionally, as a bespoke part, we developed the clutch, a lightweight clutch system that is even almost 11 kilos lighter than the one we use in the GT3 Touring.
Wow.
And the gearbox, if you just finish the gearbox, is 8% shorter in reduction and shorter geared than the GT3. So it's kind
really
of
exciting.
Very explosive, a weight of the car of 1,380 kilos, a short geared manual transmission, and 525 horsepower.
Wow. Yeah, sounds good. Can we move around to the side? Because these wheels, look, these are magnesium wheels, right?
These are magnesium wheels. It comes standard with magnesium wheels.
Okay.
On the heritage pack that we see here, with this wonderful new Shore Blue, we call it. It's a very classic color that we developed especially for that car. You can opt for this Ceramica coated, that's what we call metallic white rims that show off the shape of this magnesium wheels very good. Look at this holes here, so it's really lightweight. You'll be saving more than 10 kilos over the aluminum wheels, which are super light as well. And and it comes standard with this magnesium wheels, as it comes standard with PCCB as another lightweight component, for example.
Okay.
But that's not all. I mean, there's lightweight all over the car.
I was going to say, there's some bespoke panels for this car.
Yeah, we have carbon fiber doors that we use on the GT3 RS as well.
Okay.
And look at this. Just normal door handles, like they have been 60 years ago. And along with this, carbon fiber doors, we have a bespoke front fender, which takes up this, I think, very, very distinctive line that we see here.
Because this is a new treatment, right?
This is definitely how you recognize the 911 ST from a Touring. This is exactly that section, which does a lot to the aesthetics of the car. It's very special, looks good. So this is carbon fiber. We have a carbon fiber hood that we lent from the GT3, and we have a lightweight carpentry in the car. We have on the suspension side some carbon fiber components, the stabilizer bars and the rear shear plate.
So unique to this car?
It's unique to this car, and it's another 3.5 or almost 4 kilos. We have carpentry, we have thin glass all around of the car, and this car has a deletion of the rear axle steering. So the GT3
yes.
Touring has rear axle steering. We decided not to go track orientated on that one. That's a car to enjoy on the road, to enjoy on the street. We wanted to make it as light as possible.
Yeah.
So we took out the rear axle steering, and because it sucks up a lot of power, electricity, and needs a lot of amps from the battery, could use a smaller battery. So the overall weight saving was about 10 kilos, and it goes on and on and on. So it's only 1,380 kilos, but including fuel, including oil, including water, everything.
That's a
Dry weight is about 1,270.
Wow. And so because this is the first double wishbone front end without the rear wheel steer, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow, exciting.
If you look at it from the front, you need to look at the roof to be able to make out the difference to the GT3 Touring. That's the carbon fiber roof. So in the front, on the underbody, we did changes for the aerodynamics to get the car back in balance, because we have a gurney flap at the back, so we have a little bit different airstream around the car, but it's on the invisible side. So on the front, we see mostly stealthily the GT3 Touring.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, it looks sensational, I must say.
Yeah. And this is the package, the heritage package. There's some small Easter eggs hidden. For example, the Porsche crest here is the historical Porsche crest. It's different than the one we use on the rest of the cars, and you can find those as well on the rim caps here. So this is something for the nerds.
Oh yeah, you would never notice, would you?
It's a little bit of a difference. That's a little bit different colors, and it's resembling the classic one we used back then. Yeah. When the brand was brand new.
Yeah. Okay, so we're inside the ST now. We're going to cover the blue car and the black car. Andreas, this blue car is a heritage design. What marks this out as a heritage car inside?
Well, it's the two-toned interior. The two-tone, it consists of a black and a cognac colored version, a very sophisticated look, looks very classic. We used that kind of leather back in the olden days as well. I think it fits perfectly to the car. It's more like a sophisticated luxury version of the one we're gonna see next, and it has this corduroy cloths or corduroy look-alike cloths with a pinstriping. So everything is just two-toned here. We can opt for the carbon roll cage as well on this package, and it works quite well with the cluster instrument that features green numbers,
it looks brilliant,
like in the classic cars. Yeah. But that's the same thing as on the standard version. I call it standard version. And special floor mats which are covered, which the rim is made out of leather. So very comfy, and which is very cool, when you open the door, there's this icons of cool projection, which is on the floor, and we have a special headliner here, which is a perforated race text. That's all very, very stylish, I think, and
absolutely,
it fits this classical idea of being a birthday 911.
Sure. Should we go look at the black car?
Sure.
Okay, so we're in the black car now. Andreas, this is the more kind of serious driver-focused spec, I guess, of ST. What do we need to know in here?
I wouldn't call it the standard version or the base version. It's maybe more like the non-heritage version, which is very classic as well in my book. It's a very calm interior. It's black with silver stitching, and it has this black corduroy cloth with this pinstriping. Again, very calm. Only two colors here, which is black and silver, so it gives it a calm atmosphere. Thrown in is a little bit the carbon fiber, which we find everywhere where there's leather on the heritage version. This is how the car comes without the heritage package. It's a sporty version, I would say. Yeah. And it has carbon fiber door handles, for example, which we introduced in the Weissach package of the GT3. Okay. And as well, it has the green lit instrument cluster, which is very classical. It has perforated leather on the steering wheel, whereas the other version doesn't have that, and we think we don't need any perforation on the race tags on the roof liner, so that's the other way around. But both interiors are very cool, this being my favorite one here.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. And for me, probably the most important bit of this interior is a 6-speed gear lever. This is shorter than usual?
This is shorter. It looks short, it is short. Maybe you just try the actuation. It's for me, it's like...
Oh wow, there's nothing at all, is it?
It's like a bolt action on a rifle. So it's really very short and communicates quite well the forces of the gear actuation, and yeah, it feels a little bit different when the engine's running. But why don't you start it?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Here we go. Okay.
And you feel the inertia of this single mass flywheel, which actually is almost a no mass flywheel, because if you pump a little bit in neutral, see how fast it revs up.
It just goes straight
just goes
away.
up and straight down again, because on the crankshaft there's really a very low weight only. Well, pump it a little more. Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's awesome, and that's really something that stands out, because you feel that in acceleration with its short gearing and this engine characteristics. It's really, you feel as if the car would rip out some tarmac behind you.
Wow.
And we like that feeling.
Yeah, and you were saying, so we've got shorter gears now as well. The top speed is 186.
The top speed is 186,
300
300 kilometers per hour, not because the car is running out of power, it's running out of gears.
Amazing.
So we had the rev limiter then, but I don't care about top speed, because you can only do it in Germany on a lonely night, and that doesn't make sense. For me, important is how fast can the car go to its top speed, or to 250, 260. That's kind of speeds that you see sometimes when you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
And so the gearing is substantially shorter. It's 8%, 8 point something percent. That may sound not a lot, but if you look at the second gear on a GT3, you're about at 125 kilometers per hour when you shift. Put it almost 8-9% lower, then you're at 112, something like this.
Cool.
And this is more pulling power to the wheels.
Yeah.
But you're sacrificing a little bit of top speed. Well,
that's fine.
Yeah, for us too.
Want one as well? Of course you do. The 911 ST is on sale now, costs about £250,000. Form yourselves an orderly queue.